So, greetings to all. I am first. I am glad to introduce myself. I am Sejal Shinde. I am a computer engineering student of MIT College, and today I am going to give a presentation on process quality management tools. It is a internal assessment activity of project management. Our course instructor is Vaishali Wanglikar ma'am. So let's start with our presentation. The first model is ISO, that is the International Organization for Standardization. The Internal Organization for Standardization, ISO, is an international non-governmental organization made up of national standards bodies. It develops and publishes a wide range of proprietary, industrial, and commercial standards, and is comprised of representatives from various national standards organizations. The organization's abbreviated name ISO is not an acronym. It derives from the ancient Greek word that is isos, meaning equal or equivalent. Because the organization would have different acronyms in different languages, the founders of the organization decided to call it by the short form ISO. So here are some principles of ISO. The first is a customer focus. Customer focus is the first principle, right where it should be, and it covers both the customer needs and customer services. This principle stresses that the business should understand its customers, what they need and when, and while trying to meet but preferably exceed customers' expectations. The second one is the leadership. Without a clear and strong leadership, business founders is concerned with the direction of organization. The business should have a clear goals and objective and ensure its employees are actively involved in achieving those targets. The third one is the people involvement. The process approach is all about efficiency and effectiveness. Well managed processes reduce cost, improve consistency, eliminate waste, and promote continuous improvement. Manage processes by making responsibilities clear and ensuring your resources are used in the best way. The fourth principle is process approach. The process approach is all about efficiency and effectiveness. It's also about consistency and understanding that good processes also speed up activities. The fifth one is the systematic approach to management. I also defines this principle as identifying, understanding, and managing interrelated processes as a system contributes to the organization's effectiveness and efficiency in achieving its objective. This means that multiple processes are managed together as a system, which should lead to a great efficiency. The sixth one is continual improvement. This principle is very straightforward. Continual improvement should be an active business objective. The benefits of this are clear: increase the ability to embrace new opportunities, organizational flexibility, and improve the performance. Seventh one is a factual approach to decision making. A logical approach based on data and analysis is a good business sense. Unfortunately, in a fast-paced workplace, decisions can often be made rashly without proper thought. Informed decisions lead to improve the understanding of marketplace as data is collected and analyzed, and the ability to refine past decisions. The eighth one is the mutually beneficial supplier relations. This principle deals with supply chains. It promotes the relationship between the company and its suppliers and recognizing it is independent. The result is optimization of cost and resources, improving and building long term relationship. and flexibility of joint responses to changing markets or customer needs and expectations. So let's see some advantages of a ISO model. Uh, so it first one is the increase in customer satisfaction. Second one is international acknowledgement and recognition. The third one is a happier staff. Fourth one is more customers. Next one, consistent quality and efficiency. Reduce the cost, more business opportunities, proper management visibility, less disruptions, external audit benefits. So here are some disadvantages of a ISO model. Standard is prone to failure when companies interested in certification before quality. Period to achieve ISO certification is very lengthy and require months of efforts. It requires heavy emphasis on documentation. It is expensive to establish quality management system. Stakeholders do not have adequate understanding of ISO 9000 certification process. It requires training to implement it successfully. ISO 9001 certification is only available to those companies that can afford it. Sometimes management fails to understand the complexity of ISO standards and thus fails to apply them. High volume of paperwork is needed for the ISO. So these are some disadvantages. The next model is a CMM. So here are some five levels of CMM software process. The first one is the, as you can see in the image, initial. It includes software development process, and the second level is a repeatable. Processes are defined and documented. In the third level, which is defined, here the processes are standardized. The in the fourth level, which is managed, here processes are monitored and controlled. The fifth one is the optimizing. Here the processes are continuously improved. So let's discuss in detail about these levels. At the initial level, processes are disorganized and HOC and even chaotic. Success likely depends on individual efforts and is not considered to be repeatable. So this is because processes are not sufficiently defined and documented to enable them to be replicated. Next one is a repeatable. At the repeatable level, requisite processes are established, defined, and documented. As a result, basic project management techniques established and successes in key process areas are able to be repeated. Third one is a defined. At the defined level, an organization develops its own standard software development process. These defined processes enable greater attention to documentation, standardization, and integration. The fourth one is managed. At the managed level, an organization monitors and controls its own processes through data collection and analysis. The fifth one is optimizing. At the optimizing level, processes are constantly improved through monitoring feedback from processes and introducing innovative processes and functionality. Thus, the advantages of CMM are they are more accurate and accurate for identification of flaws in process development operations, reduction in cost of software development or management of data as a resource. They increase in productivity from software development or data management professionals, reduction in post-release defects and essential enhancement, reduction is in a time to market for implementation. So let's see some disadvantages also. The coordinate measuring machines are very costly. The CMM are less portable. If the operating software cracks down, it is difficult to restart the entire system. It needs to construct some feature on its own, as some parts of the workpiece are unreachable by the probe. The next model is Six Sigma. So there are five main principles of Six Sigma model. They are: first is customer focus. The main objective is to maximize the benefits for customers. Hence, a business must understand the needs of their customers and the drivers of sales. It requires establishing quality standards according to the market or customer demands. Second one is assess the value chain and find the problem. Outline the steps of a process to find out the unwanted areas and gather related data. It defines the goals for data collection purposes for data gathering and expected insights. The third one is the eliminate defects and outliers. In this, after the identification of the problem, it make appropriate modifications in the process to eliminate defects, eliminate any activity in the given process that does not contribute to the customer value. If the value chain is unable to reveal the problem area, various tools are used to find out the problem areas and outliers. Eliminating the outliers and defects removes the bottlenecks in a given process. Fourth one is involve stakeholders. Structure the process should be adopted overall, uh, where where all stakeholders collaborate and contribute to finding solution to complex issues. The team needs to achieve proficiency in the methodologies and principles applied. Hence, the specialized knowledge and training are required to lower project failure risk and ensure optimal performance of the processes. Fifth one is a flexible and responsive system. Whenever an efficient or faulty process is eliminated, the employee approach and work practices need to be changed. A flexible and responsive environment to the changes in processes can lead to the efficient implementation of the projects. So this is one image of uh, objectives of a Six Sigma. As we can see, improve customer satisfaction, reduce cycle time, reduce errors, improve quality, eliminate defect. These are some objectives of Six Sigma model. Uh, so let's see some advantages of Six Sigma. Quality control, reduction of defects, relies on data, increases revenue, focus on process improvement, improve the customer satisfaction. So these are some advantages of Six Sigma model. Let's see some disadvantages of Six Sigma. It focuses only on the quality. It requires more resources, addition of production cost, and real-time barriers. So let's see some applications of the Six Sigma model. The first is the scope. Applying Six Sigma in scope management would enforce clear definition of requirements and the rigorous change management. The risk may be that this application could inhibit innovation. The second one is applying Six Sigma in time management would require better scheduling, immovable deadlines, careful progress monitoring, risk management, and enforces better resource management. The risk may be that this application could encourage additional schedule padding and increase buffers. The third one is the cost. Applying Six Sigma in cost management would imply absolute budgets, enforce careful cost controls, and effective forecasting. The risk may be that this application could encourage additional budget padding and increase reserves. The fourth one is the quality. Applying Six Sigma in scope management would enforce unyielding quality targets, careful selection of standards, and realistic assessment of capabilities. The risk may be that this application could result in hiding problems and assigning blame for defects to others. Let's see the next model that is a lean. So here are principles of a lean. The first is defining value. Identifying value in lean project is always defined by what the customer needs for the product. This might mean the time to market, pricing, or order expectations that must be met. The second one is the value stream mapping. After you have defined the value for your end user, next you need to map the value stream. This means defining all of the steps and related processes that take your product from raw material to final deliverable. You can also identify the actions to produce your product in design, procurement, HR administration, delivery, and customer service. The map should be on only one page and you should remove any steps that offer no value to the customer. The third one is a create flow. Once you have removed the waste from your value stream, it's time to ensure those steps flow smoothly from one to another. You don't want any interruptions, delays, or bottlenecks. That can slow down production and threaten your schedule and budget. To do this, you want the value stream steps to be in a tight sequence. This leads to cross-functional teams that work together across departments to create greater productivity. The fourth one is a established pull. Pull means that the customer can pull the product with a shorter production cycle, often turning what could have been months into weeks. This lets you avoid having to build in advance or stockpile materials, which saves on inventory costs that can be passed on your customers. This all depend on the flow you created in the previous step. Fifth one is a continuous improvement. If the first step is the most important of the five lean principles, this step is a close second. It means approaching perfection in all aspects of your corporate culture. Specifically, you want to use this step to loop you back to the first step. Yes, you should never stop following these steps. This continuous improvement, also referred to by the Japanese word kaizen, is essential to lean project management. So here are some advantages of a lean model. Less waste. Continually refining your workflow means you can iron out productivity, sapping issues and tasks that don't add anything. The next one is more focused. By cutting out activities that don't add value. Your team can apply more focus to those that do. The next one is a better motivation. When employees are able to focus on meaningful and impactful work rather than valueless busy work, they have a greater sense of purpose. The next one is a smarter way of working. Using the pull system means the team will work only on those tasks when there is a demand. They can spare them on either preparation or training. The next one is the more value for the customer. By cutting out tasks that don't add value, you will be able to commit more time to those that do, ensuring a higher quality product. Let's see some disadvantages of this model. The first is inventory issues. Lean ideologies prioritize waste elimination, which introduces a tricky balance of ordering from your suppliers on time and getting solely the right amount of products made. As such, a supplier delay could have an outsized impact on your inventory since, unlike non lean organizations, you won't have spare products ready to go. The next one is the transition issues. As with any big change, adjusting to lean could take some time and at first introduce some errors. Employees not used to lean may initially fail to pay close enough attention to your processes to easily identify and eliminate waste, and long-term employees used to other approaches may dig their heels in the ground and remain steadfastly tied to their old ways. Next one is the upfront expenses. Companies new to lean often make the transition with the new software equipment and training programs. That's a lot of money to spend upfront, but the cost savings of waste elimination may pay for these initial expenses over time. The next model is a Kanban. So, Kanban is a popular framework used to implement agile and DevOps software development. It requires real-time communication of capacity and full transparency of work. Work items are represented visually on a Kanban board, allowing team members to see the state of every piece of work at any time. Kanban is an inventory control system used in just-in-time manufacturing. The Kanban system can be used easily within a factory, but it can also be applied to purchasing inventory from external suppliers. The Kanban system creates an extraordinary visibility to both suppliers and buyers. One of its main goals is to limit the buildup of excess inventory at any point on the production line. Limits on the number of items waiting at supply point are established and then reduced as inefficiencies are identified and removed. Whenever a limit of inventory is exceeded, it points to an inefficiency that needs to be addressed. The Kanban method is a means to design, manage, and improve flow systems for knowledge work. The teams applying Kanban to improve the services they deliver, embrace the following values. The first is the transparency. Sharing information openly using clear and straightforward language improves the flow of business value. Next one is a balance. Uh, Different aspects, viewpoints, and capabilities must be balanced in order to achieve effectiveness. Next one is a collaboration. Kanban was created to improve the way people work together. Next one is a customer focus. Kanban systems aim to optimize the flow of value to customers that are external from the system but may be internal or external to the organization in which the system exists. Flow work is a continuous or episodic flow of value. Next is leadership. Leadership means the ability to inspire others to act via example, words, and the reflection is needed at all levels in order to realize continuous improvement and deliver value. Next is the understanding individual and organizational self knowledge of the starting point is necessary to move forward and improve. Next is the agreement. Everyone involved with the system are committed to improvement and agree to jointly move toward goals while respecting and accommodating differences of opinion and approach. The next is a respect, value, understand, and show consideration for a people. Let's see some advantages of a Kanban model. It gives better visibility, improved efficiency, increased productivity. It prevents team overburden, and it helps to increase the team focus, reduce the waste. It gives a flexibility, and it improves the collaboration, and it is a more predictable model, and it increase the accessibility to information. Let's see some disadvantages of a Kanban. It requires process stability, lack of explicit iteration. It is not updating the board, too simple board, and lack of time representation. The Kanban system does not eliminate the variability. It cannot be used independently. So this is from my side. Thank you.